We have to talk about aging today in this symposium, and I will start in this meeting talking about this is the name of my presentation, the importance of understanding healthy aging, and this is my disclosure. I have no conflict of interest to report in relation to this presentation. And first of all, I have to talk about aging. I just want to tell you and encourage to think how many people do we have around our cities, families, even here in this conference with more than 65 years old. This is a situation for all the societies around the world, and Dr. Sofia will be talking about this situation in a complete land. So a little definition about aging is that aging comprises a dynamic biological, physiological, and psychosocial processes and system. It's a normal for everybody around the world and all the species around the world, and often involves common changes that may not be harmful, such as graying hair. So everybody will have a graying hair around the world, and that is harmful. But also, aging also means a progressive and inexorable loss of functions and leading to increased vulnerability to disease, frailty, and disability. And there's a lot of hypotheses around aging, but the theories to explain this decline have been offered, but none by itself can explain aging. That's why we have to do more research about aging. But what is the global situation? This is a slide who has the information about what is the percentage of population age 60 years old over from 2015 to 2050. And here you can see the difference for one year to the other one. And it's obvious for all that this is the population who is increasing each year and year. That is a slide who has information about the life expectancy advert by region. And as you will see, for all the regions, Africa, Asia, Europe, Latin America, North America, Oceania, and the whole world, for all the regions, aging is increasing. And here you can see how the number of children is decreasing and the people with more age are increasing. And this is a reality for us. And this is the last slide about data like this. And here you can see that with more, even in males and females, always you can see that with more age, we have less healthy living. So we have to start to talk about that, because more people have more than 65 years old and less, or don't live well. They are sick, they have several diseases, chronic disease, disabilities, etc., etc. And this is a score, it's a very nice score about 6 countries from China, Russia, South Africa, Mexico, Ghana, and India. This is a very good information and is from the World Health Organization. Well, at this moment, the researchers are beginning to define the link between genes and lifespan. And now we know a little about how the genes have been implicated in normal aging processes, age-related disease, and longevity. And the interactions among, we know about the interactions among genes and lifestyle, behavioral, and social factors, and their influences on the initiation or progression of some disease. We know a little about that. But we have a challenge as a researchers, as scientists. And this is the first big challenge. Develop a clearer understanding of the normal changes that accompany aging and distinguish them from the disease and disabilities. That's not the same. Aging is not the same. Don't have to be equal. Aging to disease. And that's why we have a very big challenge. A common trait is the process of inflammation. You know what is inflammation, and that increases the susceptibility of age-related pathologies and contribute to frailty. We have to study more about inflammation. What is the mechanism in between aging and inflammation? And in other hand, there's a lot of people who suffer anemia, thrombosis, involuntary weight loss, dizziness, hearing or vision loss, dementia, frailty, or incontinence. All of these are problems for people with a lot of more than 65 years old. But research is also helping to identify lifestyle factors and health behaviors that directly influence physical, cognitive, and emotional fitness and risk of disease. And scientists are at this moment developing and refining recommendations for people of all the ages regarding optimal diet, use of dietary supplements, mental stimulation, physical exercise, quality sleep, and interpersonal abilities. There's a lot of people doing Sudokus at flights because they have to be mentally complete after the 60 years old, and doing exercise 3 times a week because they want to be physical activity even with more than 60 years old. And sleep, the quality of sleep is very important each day, more and more important each day. And identify these behaviors and lifestyles that influence, and that's the key, that influence health and quality of life. We will be able to reinforce prevention efforts and improve caregiving. That is our objective as researchers. But we need more. We need more because we don't understand, we don't have all the information about aging. So we need more science. And the first big step is support studies on healthy aging, well-being, and longevity. As we have in ILSI around the world, we have a very big study, and Dr. Sofia will be talking about that to you. And we need to identify cellular and molecular factors that determine the pace, the rhythm of the aging processes. We don't know why people are in aging more quickly than others, and we have to know why that's going on in these people. Identify development, prenatal, early life, and environmental processes that affect aging. And understand the influence of obesity and metabolic status in healthy aging. We have to know about that. We have to do more. And also, we need to understand the sensory and motor changes associated with aging and how they increase the incidence of disease. Continue to support basic research in the psychological science of aging and the impact of social interaction on health and well-being. Psychological science is more than we have at this moment. We need more information. And explore the interplay between genetic, biological, clinical, social, economic, psychological, and environmental factors affecting aging and longevity. The second big step that we have to do is accelerate. We have to be more quick, because we don't have time to think about that. We have to be more. Entonces, we have to accelerate the discovery of the causes of and risk factors with disease and disability among older adults. Identify the genetic and epigenetic basis of age-related disease and conditions well as factors that affect disease initiation and progression. We have to do more in these two very big lands, genetic and epigenetic. And so we have to improve our understanding of the molecular, genetic, cellular, and tissue basis of aging that contribute to increased risk for the treatment of major age associated. We have to know more about the interaction between aging and treatments, medicines, etc. We have to know more about that. And the last one is to identify the molecular and cellular basis of age-related decline in immune response, because we know that there are a lot of diseases who are related with these immune responses. But also we have to improve our understanding of how the inflammatory processes is affected by aging and how these changes impact tissue function, not just about the skin or the hair, even with the other organs, vital organs around. And identify, analyze, and track changes, patterns of disability for older adults, and better understand factors contribute to these patterns. The third big step is encourage translation of the research to interventions. We have to do more in this land because we have a lot of information, basic information, hard science, but we don't use this to do interventions. And we have to identify and optimize opportunities for moving new knowledge from basic discovery to intervention development and around. Because when we do an intervention, we will have a lot of information to do more science. It's a cycle. And facilitate communication among supported researchers and encourage interdisciplinary collaboration. This is not for just one science. We need a lot of scientists working together in collaboration to know more about aging. And improve and developing of collaboration between research centers and institutes, because sometimes we don't know what is going on in one institute, and maybe the same that I am doing is doing in another place. Supporting collaborative research, eliminate barriers. This is very important for us as a researcher. We have to eliminate barriers and communicate findings to public health. Finally, this is a conclusion from around the world. It is necessary to know in an urgent and integral way the human aging processes in an integral way, which will allow us as a society to adopt measures given to this population the meeting of economic, health, social, and spiritual needs, guaranteeing the enjoyment of an active and healthy old age for the present people with more than 60 years old, and for the future. Everybody here in this room will be there with more than 60 years old, and the society have to do more. And us, as a scientist, have to do the homework for our life and for the others. Thank you very much.